Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel for my 22-week pregnancy update. So if you guys have been following along with my pregnancy, you know that in the beginning I was doing weekly pregnancy updates, but now that we are in the second half of my pregnancy, I've decided to switch to every 2 weeks just because things don't really change that much once you're in the second half of your pregnancy, like week by week like it does in the beginning. So that's why we're doing every 2 weeks. Just thought I would throw that out there. But anyways, today I am officially 22 weeks pregnant, and I am very excited to share all the things that have been going on over the past couple of weeks, because from week 20 to 21 there wasn't a whole lot of things that were happening, but from week 21 to 22 there's a lot of things that I want to go over and talk about. And as you guys can tell by the title, I want to put this out there now so you don't start watching this and get like disgusted or grossed out or be like, I did not want to know all that. I am going to be sharing a lot of TMI pregnancy symptoms and things that have been going on, because there have been times where I won't like fully go into a lot of detail about what has been going on, just because I don't want it to be like too TMI and like freak people out or scare people off. But I'm getting to the point now where I just feel like we're all adults here, and if you're watching this, chances are you are pregnant or have been pregnant, or you have a wife or a girlfriend or whatever that is pregnant. So like I said, we're all adults here. It's just the human body. Pregnancy is super weird. So I want to give this disclaimer now that I will be sharing a good handful of some very TMI pregnancy symptoms. Okay, so starting with week 20, I weighed in at 129 pounds. And I'm not going to go over the size of the baby and stuff like that, what was going on, just because that was like 2 weeks ago. So I'll just update you guys about that stuff once I hit 22 weeks. But at week 20, I weighed 129 pounds. And the first symptom that I put was that I officially started to experience Braxton Hicks contractions. And if you don't know what Braxton Hicks contractions are, they're basically just like a practice contraction. That's what they call them. But it just feels like your stomach balls up really tight and it gets hard, and it holds that tightness there for like 30 to 60 seconds, and then it like kind of slowly releases and relaxes, and then you feel fine. But when it happens, it can kind of take your breath away, and for me personally, they don't hurt. They're just really uncomfortable, and it just feels like super, super tight. So when it happens, I kind of just have to like chill out for a second until it relaxes. But usually you get them from being dehydrated, doing a lot of activity, or if you have been holding your pee for too long. And for me personally, it's not the dehydration, because at minimum I drink 90 ounces of water every single day, but it's usually more than that. But minimum I drink 90 ounces, so I know I'm not dehydrated. So for me, it's either usually too much activity or I've been holding my pee for too long, which is such a weird symptom, but that has started to happen this week. And I was thinking back to my pregnancy with Anastasia, and I feel like these didn't start happening for a few weeks later. Like I feel like it started happening around maybe 23 or 24 weeks. So they've started happening a little bit earlier this time around. The next symptom that I noticed is kind of a random symptom, but it's just something that I remembered with my previous pregnancy, so I wanted to note it this time around. But if you guys haven't noticed, I always wear my Fitbit watch. And on my Fitbit, it tells me what my heart rate is when I'm working out or at rest or whatever. It just constantly has my heart rate. And this is something I noticed with my pregnancy with Anastasia, that the further along in your pregnancy, at least for me, my resting heart rate slowly gets higher and higher. So when I'm not pregnant, my resting heart rate is usually anywhere between 60 to 65 beats per minute. And then when I'm pregnant, it goes up to about 75 beats per minute. So right now I'm hovering around like 70 to 72 beats per minute at rest. So that's just something that I took note of this week. It's not a big deal. The reason why is because when you're pregnant, you have more blood. And when you have more blood, your heart has to work harder to pump that blood. So that is something that I noticed during week 20. The next thing that I put is that I started to sleep with a pillow in between my knees, because it's just comfortable like that. Before, I didn't really need it to be comfortable, but I don't really know why, because I think it's supposed to take pressure off your belly, but I don't see how it does if it's in between your legs. But for some reason, it just makes it more comfortable to sleep. The last thing that I put for week 20 was that my body overall is just getting fuzzier everywhere. Like I had to touch up again with my little face razor to get some of the peach fuzz off my face, and my stomach is also still getting fuzzier, which is fantastic. It makes me feel very feminine. Okay, so today at 22 weeks pregnant, I weighed in at 132.2. And if you guys are wondering, I know it gets kind of confusing with my pregnancy updates, because like I update when I am at that week. So right now when I am filming this, I am currently 22 weeks pregnant exactly, and I go over all the symptoms that happened the week prior. So right now I'm 132.2 pounds, but everything that I'm about to go over is from the previous week of my pregnancy, everything that I was experiencing. So I just want to clarify that. But anyways, like I said, I'm 132.2 pounds, which means that I gained 3.2 pounds over the last 2 weeks. For week 21 exactly, I wasn't able to weigh myself because we were on vacation in Georgia and they didn't have a scale there. So I wasn't able to weigh myself there, but from week 20 to 22, I gained 3.2 pounds. And at 22 weeks, this is what the baby looks like. He's getting super big, and according to the Pregnancy Plus app, it says that he is roughly the size of an eggplant. And then in my weekly newsletter from the Bump app, it says that baby is approximately 10.9 inches and 15.1 ounces. Now that baby's got more developed eyes and lips, he or she is looking even more like a newborn, and baby is sleeping in cycles, about 12 to 14 hours per day. So that's everything that's going on with the baby this week. And then in the Bump app, it says that baby is roughly the size of a coconut, which it must be a smaller coconut because I've heard some people say that at like 32 or 33 weeks, their app tells them that the baby is the size of a coconut. So it must be a small coconut, but either way, the baby's either the size of an eggplant or a coconut, which that could be this big or that could be this big. So he's somewhere in that range. Okay, so this past week was when a lot of things started changing and getting a little bit weird. So the first thing that I noted, which isn't a TMI symptom, it's just something that happened, is that I stopped taking the Unisum and vitamin B6 because I don't feel like I really need it anymore. I'm not really getting nauseous at all anymore. Sometimes it'll come randomly, but it's not bad at all. It's just like a random little maybe 5-minute spout of nausea, and it's not nearly as bad as it was in the beginning of my pregnancy. I also put that my belly button is starting to like open up because I have an innie belly button, and when I get pregnant, my belly button slowly like opens up and then flattens out. It doesn't like poke out. Some people's belly buttons do, but it just like starts open and flatten. So it has started the opening process. It's about like halfway there to being flat. I also put that I can no longer wear, I have like 2 or 3 pairs of jeans. I'm not a huge jean person. I honestly don't like them at all. So I have like 2 or 3 pairs, but I can only fit into 1 pair anymore. I have this black pair that I just got recently, like over the past few months, and I've been able to wear them up until like last week, and now they're too tight. They squeeze my belly too much and it's really uncomfortable, and I feel like it cuts off the circulation. So I officially cannot wear most of my pre-pregnancy jeans anymore. This is probably a symptom I should have mentioned first, but I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am slightly sick again. I have gotten sick 3 times now since I have been pregnant, and I've said this so many times, but I am not somebody who normally gets sick. I only get sick maybe once or twice a year, if that. And I have been sick 3 times now since I have been pregnant, which is only 22 weeks, and I'm so over it. Like, I hate being sick. I'm not horrible. When I was 6 weeks pregnant and I got sick, it was bad. Like, I felt like I could not even function. But anyways, now I just have a little bit of a cold, and I think I got it from Anastasia, and I think Anastasia got it from being on vacation and in the colder weather, and she's teething, and we were on vacation. I have a nephew, and he was also kind of like had some kind of little cold, so I think she probably got it from him because they were playing together a lot. So a lot of combination of things that could have gotten her sick. But anyways, she's transferred it on to me a little bit. Like I said, it's not horrible, but I just have like a runny nose, and I sound like nasally almost, and I just don't like it. I hate not feeling like myself, so that has not been fun at all. Over this past week or so, working out has gotten a lot harder, and I will say that this pregnancy, I have worked out more than in my pregnancy with Anastasia. When I was pregnant with her, I was working out probably 3 to 5 days a week. And before I got pregnant with her, I was working out like 5 to 6 days a week, and I would work out in a gym. But this time around, I don't have a gym membership. I just work out from home, and I work out 6 days a week. And that's just what I like. It feels good for my body. I've luckily had the energy to do it. And even in the beginning when I was nauseous, it helped me not feel nauseous, which is crazy. I know a lot of people probably don't believe me when I say that, but it's true. But it's just been something that I've really enjoyed doing and have kept up with, luckily enough. But it is starting to get a lot harder because I am starting to experience round ligament pain. And round ligament pain feels like a runner's cramp in your whole uterus, and it's just been tough. That on top of the fact that my belly is getting bigger, it's been a struggle to work out the same way I am used to working out. So I've had to take it a little bit easier. I'm still working out the same amount. I'm still doing like 5 or 6 days a week for about 30 to 45 minutes, but it's just, I've had to take down the intensity a little bit. Okay, so this is where things start getting really TMI, and I'm gonna try and do this fast because my battery is flashing. But the first thing that I put is that I'm experiencing kicks down low, and it literally feels like he is kicking right in between my crotch and my butt, like right in between. And it is the weirdest, most uncomfortable feeling. And I don't remember feeling this with Anastasia that much. And if I did, it was towards the very, very end. But that has been a very weird symptom. Another thing that's been happening, I mentioned this probably like several weeks ago, the like numbness in my crotch area. But now I've noticed every time I stand up, it almost feels like my crotch area is like asleep. It kind of feels like when you stand up and you've been sitting on your leg or your arm or whatever for too long, and it's like waking up and it's that fuzzy feeling. That's how it feels in my crotch every single time I stand up, and I don't really know why, but I'm assuming it's normal, probably just from extra blood flow. But that has been such a strange feeling. Something, again, very TMI, but kind of exciting, is that I have started to produce the tiniest little bit of colostrum. And it only happens like if I try and force it out, like hand express it out, which I don't do very often because you're not really supposed to do it a whole lot, because it can bring on early labor if you do it a lot and all the time. But I've noticed that I have a little tiny bit of colostrum, which is really good, because hopefully that means that breastfeeding will go just as smoothly this time around as it did with my daughter. Okay, so my camera battery died, so I had to take a quick intermission to charge it really quick just so I can finish up the rest of this video. But the last pregnancy symptom that I have experienced this week, this is something that started happening with my pregnancy with Anastasia as well. And I know I keep bringing up my pregnancy with her a lot, but it's because that's all I have really to compare to. But during the second half of my pregnancy with her and starting now, whenever my husband and I have sex, my stomach cramps up so bad. And it feels like a combination of like round ligament pain and a Braxton Hicks at the same time. Like, it doesn't hurt like a contraction, like I don't feel like I'm going into labor or anything like that, but it just feels like I have like a giant runner's cramp in my whole entire stomach. And it's just really not fun because, like I said, it's not painful and it's not like sharp stabbing pains or anything like that. It's just extremely uncomfortable. From what I've read though, it's basically just a combination of like your oxygen levels are going down, so your uterus is cramping, and because your uterus has expanded, it takes up your whole stomach, therefore your whole stomach is contracting and all of that stuff. So it's a normal thing, but it's a really not fun part of being pregnant. But with that being said, those are all of like the major symptoms and changes that I have been experiencing over the past couple weeks during my pregnancy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to stick around for the last little bit to see my 22-week pregnancy belly shot. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one.
In the wildest dream I'd see you again. Never dreamed about nothing else other than you. I always thought I'd be waiting